Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Norris here, and I wanted to walk you through the instructions for our next activity, which would be a digital Westward Movement ABC book. So in front of you here, you can see the instructions for this activity. So what I'd like to do is kind of walk you through the instructions so you have an idea of what I am looking for, and then I'll show you some next steps in terms of actually completing the activity correctly. So let's look first at the instructions up here. Okay, so first of all, every letter of the alphabet must be used unless otherwise stated. And really, there is no reason to not have every letter of the alphabet because the list that you will see has at least one term for every letter of the alphabet. So every letter of the alphabet must be represented in this ABC book. My next checkpoint here. Use a separate Google slide for each letter, and I'm going to go through these links after I explain the instructions. So it is digital. We're doing things digitally right now, so you will be using Google Slides to create this ABC book. If you feel comfortable, there's an alternate presentation. Instead of doing a Google slide, you can create a photo book on Canva. And I'm not really going to walk you through that today, but if that's something that you want to explore on your own, then please do so. The link is here to Canva if you would like to try that out. Next instruction, each slide should have a letter, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so on, an image, a definition of the word from either the glossary, a cited internet source, which I'm going to show you how to do in a minute, or a dictionary, and the sentence where the word first appears in the textbook, if it can be found in a textbook. And finally, there should be an attractive and colorful title slide for the book. So your first slide should be a title slide. So these are the things that I'm going to be looking for here, numbers 1 through 7. So I'm going to be looking to see that all of the alphabet letters are used, that all of the words are associated with Westward Movement. And if you use the words from my list, there's no reason why number 2 won't be done. All of the words have their definition and page number or sentence from the textbook where the word first appears. Every letter has an image related to the term or name. Number 5, all of the pages, so all of your slides, are colorful and neat. Each letter has its own slide and is in alphabetical order. And there's a title slide with the title, Westward Movement ABC Book, your name, my name, and then the class period. Okay, so here is a list of terms, and I'm not going to read all of these to you, but as you can see, it's a very lengthy list. Every single letter of the alphabet is represented on this list, and you are not doing every single word. You are choosing to do one word from each letter. If you choose to do more than one word from each letter, then you will get extra points. Okay, so I'm looking at, for example, the Adam Onis Treaty. The majority of these words do come from your textbook, so you will be able to find the sentence where the word first appears. And I think that that's pretty much all I have to say about your list of words here, but there is a word for every single letter of the alphabet. Some of them, like Meriwether Lewis, you can use his last name for your L, or you can use his first name as an M. I just didn't list him twice. So if it's a word and then a comma, that's somebody's last name and then their first name. Sometimes it's first name and then last name. For example, Brigham Young. Brigham is the first name. Young is the last name. If you wanted to use it as one of the Y's, you can do that as well. This one is listed. I'll probably take that one off because there's no need for it to be here twice. And underneath here, we have our rubric. So I'm going to be looking at whether or not you can follow directions, if you've actually got the correct content, if you're being creative and neat, and if you have correct grammar and spelling. And because this is digital, there's no reason really to have any grammar or spelling mistakes. So you can kind of look over this yourself. You'll have access to this document so that you can see what it is that I'm going to be looking for. But like when I say down here, it shows extra effort. That's because like maybe you've added 2 or 3 related pictures, or maybe you've added some transitions or animations to your slide. So if you take that extra step and go the extra mile, then you're going to get more points towards this activity. Okay, so again, make sure that you look through the rubric on your own here so you have an idea of what it is that I'm going to be looking for. So I'm going to go back up to the links. So it says use a separate Google slide for each letter. So if I click on this, it's going to take me to the document that I'm going to be using if I choose to create a Google slideshow for this ABC book. So it tells you some instructions here. Before you start working on this, make a copy of this document. You will not be able to do more than view this current document. So you're going to have to make a copy by going to File, Make a Copy. And you're going to copy the entire presentation. After you've made that copy, delete your name and type your first and last name. So up here where it says your name, you're going to delete this and put your own first and last name. When you're done with the project, so you've completed the ABC book, then delete these first 3 slides that I have created for you so that only your slides are left. And don't forget a title slide. The very first thing that you should have, your very first slide should be a title slide. The second slide here is, again, just a restating of what I'm going to be looking for, the instructions for this activity. And it tells you here that slide 3 is just an example page for the book. So be creative with your own colors, fonts, and border styles. You do not have to copy the style that I have here for your own book. So I'm just going to make this smaller so you can see. So this is sort of a diagram of all of the things that I'm looking for. We have the letter. I'm using the letter O for John O'Sullivan. The term or name, and in this case, it's John Sullivan. The definition, and because it's a person, there's not really a definition. I'm going to move this out of the way here, hopefully. Because it's a name, there's not really going to be a definition. It's just going to be a description of who they are. Okay, and the definition or the description of John Sullivan is a newspaper editor who coined the phrase manifest destiny, giving a name to the idea that America should stretch from sea to sea. And then the sentence from the textbook, it's on page 406. In 1845, a newspaper editor named John O'Sullivan gave a name to that belief. That's a sentence that he appears in. Here is a picture of John O'Sullivan, and I'm going to show you now how to add a citation. Okay, so if you are not using either the dictionary, and there's a link to dictionary or Merriam-Webster here if you'd like to use the dictionary definition of your term. We have the textbook glossary, so you can use the textbook glossary if the word comes from the textbook. It's also going to tell you what page it comes on, the word comes on. And then we have the actual textbook here so that you can find that page number. It's broken down by chapters to find the page where that word first appears as a sentence. Okay. Now, if you're choosing to use the internet as a resource, then you need to cite that information. Okay, so I have this website here called Herb, and the title of the page is An American Journalist Explains Manifest Destiny, and that is where I got the description for who John O'Sullivan was. Okay, so going to slide number 2 where it says cited internet resource, if I click there, it's going to take me directly to the citation page. Okay, I'm going to get rid of some of my other tabs. So this is the site where I found the information. Google is not a resource. It is a search engine. So if you are using Google, then you need to actually click on the website where that information comes from. If I see a bunch of google.com, then I'm going to know that you didn't listen or follow directions or pay attention to what I've been saying throughout the whole school year, which is, again, that Google is not a resource. It is a search engine to find the resource. You have to actually go to the page. So I'm going to go to the top address bar. and I'm going to copy the address. And then I'm going to go to that citation page, and where it says find a website by URL or keyword, I'm going to paste that website address. And this is that website. So I'm going to click select. Okay. This is what they could find. This is what they could not. That's okay. They found enough information. And so if I click on final step, it's just making sure that everything is correct. If I have additional information, which I'm not going to worry about since this is our first time using it, I'm just going to create the citation. If it tells me to do that, I'm going to click on this. So if this tells me to do it, it's just a way that I can use this resource for free. Okay, so I just had to go through that quick thing, and then it gave me my citation here. So I'm going to copy the citation, copy it, and then I'm going to go back to my project, and I'm going to paste it. It's too small, so I'm going to get rid of the way that it's formatted right now and change it so that it fits with the rest of my slide. Make it a little bigger. There we go. I know that this was italics. Okay, perfect. So there's my citation, and then down at the bottom here it says link to the cited page in the speaker notes. So here's the title of the page is right here. Okay, the title of the page. Oops, right here. And so I'm going to highlight and then Command or Control K, and I'm going to paste that link here as well. Oh, sorry, I need to paste the link, not the citation. Okay, and then there's the link as well. So again, if you are not going to use Webster Dictionary or the glossary from your textbook, you do need to make sure that you are citing your information so that those people get credit for the work that they did, because it's their work and not yours. So please make sure that you cite that information also. Okay. So again, make sure that you make a copy of this document, and when you're done, you delete these 3 slides. You need your title slide. Make sure you go over all of the instructions from here, as well as your rubric on the 3rd page. And just a reminder, you are not doing all of these words unless you choose to do all of the words. You are doing 1 word. Your requirement is 1 word from each letter. So there are 26 letters in the alphabet. You should have a title page. So a title page plus 26 letters means that you'll have a total of 27 slides when your project is done.